Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I, the pure consciousness, would manifest the words of truth and wisdom through his mind and through his finite body. I, the pure consciousness, would manifest the words of truth and wisdom through his finite mind and through his finite body. Blessings to be on the listener, the one who herself or himself has uncluttered from unnecessary drama, lies. Blessings be on that listener who has become receptive. If it is a herself or himself, pay attention to everything what I would say today. As you can see the title here, that become interested in your well-being. I didn't write any captions because as far as I'm concerned, it does not require any captions. So become very alert and become aware that your well-being must be your first priority. Please know that, because I have said it numerous times. Today I woke up almost around 6 o'clock and have been in a state of meditation for last 3 hours, and still in a state of meditation, and this awareness, concrete awareness of this need to be said wouldn't leave me. So here I am saying the words of truth and wisdom. I, the pure consciousness, I, the self-awareness, and I, the infinite. You must be very, very concerned. I'm not saying even should. I'm sure that you comprehend the grammar in the English. You must be very, very concerned with your well-being, because anything and everything you perceive is in the relationship with yourself. I keep saying that. I would mention here quite a few things. I want your focus intact, as I tell you every time I deliver a message. A few days back, some fella was trying to get close to me. A man. He was basically trying to hook up, and he assumed that I might be interested in men. Anyway, so the reason I am mentioning this, you would see just in a minute. So I can understand very easily that why he would think or assume that is because the way I carry myself. Anyone can be confused about it. And two, I have no judgment whatsoever what a person prefers or like. Humans have made the titles of being homosexual or gay or lesbian or straight, the different segregations humans have made. These are all human constructs. You understand? Know this. I'm mentioning it for a reason. So these are all human constructs. There is no such thing as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. If you do not agree what I am saying, help is one click away. You can discard this video. But I'm just telling you what the truth is. Life needs no titles. You understand? You are the life, and you existed before human made up the words. It's a fact. No matter how hard you look at it, you would come to the same conclusion. Life needs no words to exist. Life is what life is. Your preferences are what your preferences are. Hence, I carry no judgment towards anybody or anyone. That's the best way to live. However, I told him, I didn't get into a rage or start judging him. When you do small petty things like that, the game is over. You see, your job, my job solely, is to spread the words of truth and wisdom. What you do with the information is entirely your business. I have done my job, and I'm not failing myself. The rest is up to you. Anyway, so I told him politely that I am in a happy relationship with a woman. And he was very astonished. That's the word I'm looking for in English. That he was extremely astonished, very amazed and surprised to know. But on the other hand, just because somebody can get confused by my looks or how I carry myself, it does not mean that I have to change the way I perceive myself. You see, that's my liberty. That's my freedom. And then what I am telling you is pure awareness and pure wisdom. These are the things that you must be very aware of. And these are the things you would only acquire when you become interested in your well-being, and your well-being becomes your priority. You see, then you become like this. When you have no thoughts on words and words are just pouring out of you, as I am doing right now in a state of meditation. So what I'm saying, I cannot stop the expression of my life the way I perceive myself just because somebody can get confused. No, I would not risk my liberty. As a human, this is my liberty. That whatever the way I want to carry on or choose to carry myself, I would. However, it requires tons of nerves. You understand? I don't want to use any generic term here, but I'm sure that you already know what I'm saying. It requires tons of nerves to get to this point. It requires tremendous amount of courage. But anyway, I'm just saying, when you become very aware of yourself and your well-being, you become bold. You have no fear because you know that you have always existed and you would always exist. And because you understand what you really are, not the mind or body. Mind and body is subject to the birth and demise. So I cannot stop the very expression of my life because somebody can get confused by my looks. That's my liberty. I'm stressing it for a reason, that understand your liberty as an individual. Understand that. What a mystic experiences life firsthand, not by a pastor, not by a mullah or an imam, not by a rabbi in a synagogue or in a shul or whatever. You see, a mystic does not believe in human constructs. These are all human constructs starting from religion. A mystic experiences life firsthand. I don't need another human to tell me what I am, starting from my parents and from my conditioning. I discard all that information. It's a lie because it was handed over to them by somebody who existed before them. You know that. It's common sense. It's so clear and so visible. It's so out there. I'm so astonished and surprised, rather baffled, that how come rest of the people cannot see that, or most people at least. Anyway, we'll go further. So I experience life firsthand. The way I perceive myself, I experience. I express it. The way I experience myself, I express it. This is how I experience myself, so this is how I express myself. There is nothing wrong about that. There are numerous yogis in India, they literally express themselves in a way that can leave the person baffled that how that is possible. Anyway, so that was only one example that I gave you about this fella who was hitting on me. So I looked at him, I didn't get into any rage, no judgment drama or human construct drama or anything, and I told him that's okay, that if you are attempting to hook up with me, that I have no judgment about your desire, neither I am judging you in any shape or form. But however, I am in a happy relationship with a woman, and I'm very happy about it. There is no need to be surprised. And two, before you even think, I told him something important. I said, look, before you even think about these things, that I want to hook up, or I want to form a relationship, or I want to go into a relationship, or any number of activities that you do outside of yourself, why don't you just first understand your own self? And that's what your well-being is. The more you understand your own self, the more self-aware you become, and the more your well-being improves. It's a given, you see. So why don't you first I told him, why don't you take interest first to fully understand yourself before you even go into something like that I want to hook up with somebody, or the bodily pleasures, or the companionship, or the relationship. I said these things are secondary, you see. But the main thing is first look and see what you are. I hope you understand what I'm saying to you. I told it politely to him. He listened, but then he walked away. Well, I have done my job, and what you do, or what he does, or she does, whoever, with the information is entirely their business. I have nothing to do with that. I said, become aware. I'll help you. I will help you to give you the tools to fully understand yourself. I will help you. I'm here for you. That's my help. That's my service to mankind. But of course, not interested, then move on. I'm not interested in what you are asking. Just move on then. Jiddu, excuse me. You see what I'm saying? Now pay attention to what I'm about to mention. Jiddu Krishnamurti, as you know, was a brilliant philosopher and a mystic. He never, what the word I'm looking for, he never affiliated himself with a particular philosophy or a religion. And he never read any books. But when you listen to his messages and when you see the divinity in him, if you are receptive, there is no way you can miss his divinity and his services to mankind. He was a brilliant philosopher and a remarkable mystic. Never read a book, but spoke fluent English. As a matter of fact, English was his first language because he grew up in British Raj back in India, because he was born in 1895. So he grew up in British Raj. So he spoke British English, but never read a book. And he just, the level of his energy and mostly receptivity was so high that he explored first himself. You understand? He explored first himself. And somebody said in a conversation somewhere either in America or Britain to him that there is no God. And Krishnamurti replied to this person that I used to believe the same till I realized that I am God. You see the humor, the beauty, but it's not about that. It has a very important message. If you look at his answer, the message is, when you realize yourself, you realize everything. You see, when you realize yourself, your own true self, in other words, when you realize, when you reach or approach your well-being and your true self, you realize everything. there is to realize. Know that. You see, Jiddu Krishnamurti took a lot of questions from the audiences, and he was in a retreat and he was sitting over there in front of numerous thousand people, and he was taking questions from these people. And somebody raised a question to Krishnamurti and said, what you have against sex? You see, somebody raised a question to Krishnamurti and said, what you have against sex? So Krishnamurti answered that it's just like any other requirement, is just like any other requirement as anything else. You see, your body, when it is filthy, you go and you shower and you become fresh and clean. When you are hungry, you go and eat. When you are starving, you go and eat. So sex is just like any other requirement for the body. You see? But you, Krishnamurti further said that you make a huge deal out of it. So it's not that I have, that's what his words were, that I have anything against sex. But you make a big deal out of it. It's just a natural process. It's another requirement as well as many requirements for the body. Now, he further said that he further said that I want you to approach your well-being. I want you to approach your well-being or the desire, the burning desire to know yourself as hungry as when you reach for food. You understand what I'm saying? He said, I want you to reach your well-being and I want you to reach your well-being with a burning desire as when you are starving and you go towards the food, or when you need a desire for sex and you go for the sex. You see, why can you see everything with the same intensity? And if you cannot, you are a hypocrite and you are corrupt. And that is a brilliant answer. You see? Now you understand why I mentioned the fella earlier, the one who was hitting on me. He said, again I would repeat, he said, if you cannot reach your well-being or self-awareness or the observation of yourself with the same intensity or with the same burning desire that when you reach food, when you are starving, or you go for sex when you are starved of sex, why cannot you have the same intensity? And if you cannot, you are corrupt and you're a hypocrite. That's, no matter how hard you look at it, it's a fact. You are corrupt and you are a hypocrite because you want some things more than others. But life or the nature is not that way. You make priorities. Your well-being is your responsibility and your well-being is your priority. And if you cannot see that, then, and you see sex and you make a big deal out of it, or you see food when you are starved and you go like hungry wolf towards it, or any number of things. You see somebody has a better status or a job. Now the desire in your mind is to be that somebody. You go like a hungry, starved being towards all these things, but you do not approach, unfortunately, your well-being, or you do not put the same intensifier in yourself to know what you are. You are a hypocrite then. You see, you have to reach everything in the same aspect. As a matter of fact, your well-being must be your priority. These things are secondary. Your well-being. First, understand fully yourself. Otherwise, you will be grumpy or resentful, or you will be angry or sad, and you would not know why, and you would accept like rest of the humanity accepts that it's natural, and you just keep living in constipation. Happiness is happening in a constipated manner. Your life is happening in a constipated manner. A little bit here, a little bit there. You're always looking outside. So that has become the dream of reality, unfortunately. A few days back, I was having a brief conversation with this lady, and she is aware that the yoga and meditation is my life, and I approach life through a mystic approach and mysticism. So this lady, she was saying that so you can see what's in the future. So I looked at her and I said that I can half of the time see that, because there is no future. There is just now. So she said to me that, oh, I was just wondering because I wanted to, find out something as far as me seeing the future or getting the vibes. And I looked at her and I said, why would you assume that I would tell you even anything personally about you? You see, I don't play games. In me, there is no hypocrisy. What I feel about somebody, I would let them know. And I wouldn't get into a rage. I wouldn't call them names or anything, but I would get my point across. You see, that's what a mystic is. So I looked at her and I said, why would you even assume that I am going to tell you anything? You see, that's very selfish of you. I told her that, flat out. I said to her, that is very selfish of you, whether you like my words or you don't like my words. What I do, yes, I have that power. I can see things other cannot, and I can feel these things other cannot. However, you want something only for yourself solely, so you are asking me. It's not a game. I'm not playing with words, neither I am interested in you. You see, there is nothing you can give it to me, because the one who has created me, I am totally fulfilled with that. Okay, so I want you to understand something. You are showing extreme sign of selfishness by asking something that if I can find that out for you. But my interest is that how much are you concerned with your own well-being? How much are you concerned with your own self-awareness? And how much are you at peace with yourself? Because the more you are concerned with your well-being, and the more you are at peace with yourself, it is only natural that you would spread that around. You see what I'm saying? It is only natural that you would spread, definitely, everything. You would spread that around. It is very, very natural. But no, because of that, of course, you're not interested, because it's gonna benefit quite a few people or the society. But you are solely interested in something that I can see or foresee, and I can tell you. I said that's a sign of selfishness. What I do is not to manifest some type of power. What I do is not to manifest anything for anybody. What I do is to give people option that it is very possible to be happy all the time. Happiness is not what you do. Happiness is your birthright, what you are. You see? That's what I do. And when you make a happy, healthy human being, you make a happy, healthy society. You see? So that's what I do. That's what my aim is as a yogi and as a mystic. I don't, get involved in this kind of power of manifestation game for some monetary gain or for some friendship, or I am looking for a shoulder to cry or seeking attention. Any number of things you humans do. Or at least most of the people do, unfortunately. Any number of things, There is a very petty and a very narrow band. You understand what I'm saying? A narrow band, or very petty to look at life. Life goes beyond that. Life goes beyond your separate self. Your separate self also, your mind and your body, your separate self is an illusion. But you don't see that way because you have never taken enough time to fully comprehend and fully understand yourself. Your separate self is an illusion. It does not exist anywhere, but just it's a memory. I see that way. You see, when I look at the mirror sometimes, I don't see, I don't look what I see as myself. I look as what I purely and truly am, manifesting this. And one day I would shed this willingly. Anyway, so you understand the message today I conveyed you. That hunger, bodily pleasures, status, searching, job concerns, all that are secondary things. That's the bottom line I tried to convey you today. The primary and solely primary thing through which you perceive and function with secondary things is yourself. You have priority. You see what I'm saying? You have priority. So become aware of that and make your well-being or understanding yourself your priority. And then you would see the difference, the how you were living before and after, when you have made your well-being and your self-awareness your priority, then how you are living now. You would see the difference in these two lifestyles, the beauty of it. Did you hear that?